we have go through an error message. Okay, that is like this. Okay, that means if we create a formula, just fall back to the measures over here and then go to the manage measure, and then in the total retail price over here, and then get added again. Okay, because as we can see here, this formula, it will multiply the transaction, the transaction or the quantity, and multiply also the product and calculate the average with retail price, from the table. And then we will multiply this calculation. However, if we check the formula, we find that we've got some problem. That is because if we link like this, because as I mentioned before, the relationship between the product and the transaction, that is one product mapped to many transactions. One product mapped to many transactions. Just like this, one product mapped to many transactions. Just like this. One product, one mapped to many transactions. However, the problem is, one product mapped to many transactions. That means if I map from this direction, here we've got one product ID. If I map to the transaction, and then the machine will got some problem. The problem is still come from what? Because the same product ID over here will have many product ID, happened in the transaction table over here. So if the relationship like this can only come from one direction to this direction, then whenever we transmit those information from this table to this table, then we don't know to which transaction record should be mapped to this different product. So that's why it will pop up an error message for us if we really want to do this calculation. Because for those information from here, from one to many, that one record don't know to map to which transaction record inside this transaction table. This is the problem. So that's why it will prompt us an error message. So how to fix this problem? Of course, if you say, well, David, we really need to to have this calculation because this is very simple and very normal, right? So how to do it? That means we cannot do it with the implicit measure method. So how to fix it? How to do it? So first of all, go to the measure, go to manage measure first. As I told you here, this operation, this formula is not correct. It will generate error, right? So we simply delete and click yes, then gone, right? And now what should we do? Just have a look over here. If we do another way round, just have a look over here. Go back to the manage. If we do it in another manner, that is, if I go to data view, I go to the transaction table over here. As you can see here, here it will show you the transaction date, stock dates, and also the store ID and quantity, that we show. So can you see on my right hand side, we've got something called the add column. Basically, besides, in Power Pivot, beside the implicit measure and explicit measure, we also have another calculated area. We call it as the calculated column. That is what we are going to do right now here. For calculated column, it's like this. If we select this column, we say, I would like to add a column over here. We may click over here, and then key in the formula, in the formula bar. For example, like here, I would like to know the total underscore retail price. Total retail price. What does it mean? Colon equal to quantity over here, and multiply by those information from the TBL product, calculate the average retail price. if we do it in this way, because, okay, over here, we will use the product ID here from the many side, because for this table, this is the many table. It will check from this product ID and then jump to the product table to look for the price of each product. So that's why if we put the calculation inside this table, use a calculator field to calculate it and handle the calculation for each session, each record, then it will successfully be calculate all the retail price over here for each record. So now we got it. Okay, the total retail price for this transaction is $10.6. And over here, we can add one more column. Let's say the total cost for this transaction, right? Colon equal to what? The quantity and multiply by TBL, because the cost is also come from the what? FH cost, right? So after that, we got this. Okay, here is the total cost. If we say, David, I would like to add one more column, another column, that is the what? The profit, total profit. And then we can just simply do the what? Subtraction calculation. Use the retail price of each transaction here and minus the total cost over here. And then we will got the total profit is this. Right? So after that, let us fall back to the pivot table. If we say, well, David, if I would like to know the total for each item, so what should we do? You'll see here is the total retail price. Drag and drop over here, then it will do the calculation to let us know, okay, the total retail price is over here. The total cost, drag over here, is the total cost, and the total profit, yes, it's like this. The operation is very simple, right? And here, as we can see here, we'll do different analysis like this, okay, already. Because according to the information provided here, we've got the transaction and products, and also we've got the customer information. And here, because all the calculation is limited to what? To only the product and table. So what we can do here is the calculation among these two tables. But this is already very useful, because in the old time, if you would like to do some calculation with and the information come from two separate tables. In the old time, you need to what? You need to first of all to use the VLOOKUP formula to consolidate two tables and merge them together and put them into one, and then put them into the pivot table to do the calculation. However, now we can just simply drag and drop and do the whatever the calculation we want. Then we will have some very sophisticated analysis result over here. Okay, and now let's try another thing. As you can see here, we've got the also the customer information over here. Customer information over here. Okay, so if I would like to know more about our customer, this is very important. Especially, you know, now we would like to have so many end users, the final those end users analysis in order to forecast their purchasing behavior, in order to know, okay, how to operate our supply chain, right? Because end to end, end-to-end information are very important. Okay, we need to get the information from the source, okay, from the vendor side, and also we need to know, okay, the information from our end consumer side. Okay, this is very important to for a supply chain. So, how to making use of those customer analysis? Have a look over here. Okay, we've got the those customer. Okay, they will have different gender, different birthday. That means from the birthday we will know their age, something like that, right? So if we would like to do some analysis, okay, regarding to their age, then what should we do? Okay, maybe let us build another pivot table. Okay, and for this one, we'll call this pivot table. Okay, this worksheet called the product versus the transaction. Okay. Now, I would like to build another pivot table. So how to build another pivot table? Go to Manage over here, and then over here, go to the Home, and then at this part, we've got something called the pivot table, right? Pivot table. Go to the pivot table, click again, and it will ask, do you want to have a new worksheet to generate a pivot table? Okay. So we've got it. Okay, this one is the pivot table. And now again, on my right hand side, we've got the TBL class and TBL product. And can you see here, in pivot table field, we also got a very interesting thing over here is something called the active. What does it mean by active? And here is all. Because just like the one we are using, okay, in the previous example, we use only two tables. So at that table, we've got only two active tables. That they are product and transaction. So if we take active in the previous one, there should be two tables over here. We can see only the transaction and also the product table. And now because no table is being used, so active is empty. Okay, let us try. Okay, for example, I would like to get some and do some analysis on their age. Okay, on the customer. But now what we got here is their what? Is their date of birth. Is their date of birth, right? So how to know their age? Very simple. Go back to the customer table over here, and now I would like to go to their date of birth over here. Here is the date of birth. If I would like to add an additional column, insert column over here, here's date of birth, and the new column. Okay, I have already added insert a column, right click and then insert column. The new column called age, colon. How to do it? I just want to check whether we have a formula called age or we know. So what should we do? Do you still remember how to calculate one's age? The formula is very simple. Okay, use a formula called today minus the date of birth of the guy, and then after that divided by 365.25, and then we'll got their age very easily according to this calculation, right? Birthdays and age, right? So now I would like to do some analysis. Okay, this one is an additional column. This is also one of an example of the calculated column as well. Okay, so now I would like to do some analysis on the on this customers purchasing behavior according to their age. So how to do it? Alternate tab, back to the pivot table over here. Over here, we've got an additional field called age over here. If I drag and drop the age to the rows over here, we've got something like this. Okay, Here is their range. And now I would like to do some analysis on their purchasing behavior. Let's say, okay, the total total retail total profits, they bring from each age group. Now I go to the transaction table. We've got something called the total profit, right? Check to the value, and then we find that, okay, for this age, okay, it brings us this profit. Okay, for this age, okay, it brings us this profit. But this is a little bit nonsense. The reason why, this age, okay, so accurate for each individual to bring us which number of profits. Okay, so this is a little bit nonsense. So that's why I would like to do something like this, right? Okay. In the pivot table, we've got something called the group, right? And over here, it say, okay, cannot be grouped. The reason why? Because, okay, maybe these values are locked. Let me check, double fact check first. This lock the value, okay, not numerical value. So that's why it cannot be grouped. Okay, I try again. Right click, and then group again, cannot group that selection. So if we cannot group, then what should we do? Okay, if we couldn't group, then what should we do? Okay, for this analysis, because this is a little bit this is a meaningless. Okay, so now we fall back. Okay, we go back to the data table over here. Over here, it can recognize this are the integer. So I massage the formula to integer, whole number. I just get the integer part. See what happens. After that, you can see after I change it to integer, although it is also not what, cannot be grouped together because it also treated as a textual information. However, it is already what, group all the 37 years old together into one group, and then we have a roughly, okay, we can roughly consolidate this data to have a look on the distribution of the profit, the bring from each age group. Okay, of course, if you say, well, David, if we would like to we make it more visually, then what should we do? We can also generate a very simple thing like this. We will use something called the conditional formatting, just like this. Highlight these columns, and then we change to home, and then conditional formatting, and use the data bar. And what we got here is like this. And then we can have a look accordingly. Okay, different age group will have a different age will give us a different bring us a different profit, like this, right? And this analysis is according to the age. So age analysis. Okay, up to this moment, any questions? And also another thing, as I mentioned before, because now we have already used two tables to do this analysis. So in the active column, we've got only two tables, right? But if we click all, then we can see 3 tables because we still have the porter table not yet been using. If you would like to activate, okay, this porter table as well, very easy. We can just simply put, can you see here? We've got something called the porter brand, right? We just simply drag and drop the porter brand to the column. And then over here, it will show us an overview, different age of people, will bring profit to different brand in different values. We have already generated an analysis table like this. But of course, okay, it will become, you may say, wow, it's so nonsense. How come? Okay, for each years old, okay, each age, okay, we will do bring out the analysis. It is not so efficient. However, now because we have some limitation, okay, for this scenario, because it cannot recognize, okay, this part is a number, so it will bring this problem. But of course, if you say, well, I would like to change the values, okay, here, to automatic and group again. Oh, no, also cannot be done, okay, because I still want to try, okay, see whether we can change it to number. Okay, I do it again. Okay, if we change it to number, okay, I don't want to use general, use number. Still can't be grouped. Okay. Okay, we have some limitation in this part. Okay, actually, after we bring, okay, the product brand into the pivot table to do analysis, now the active column, we can see altogether we will got the 3 table are active in this scenario. Okay, any questions? Okay, if no questions, okay, let me show you the PowerPoint, and then I give you a roundup first. Okay, first of all, okay, the reason why we like to create a data model, because for data model, the beauty for the data model is like that. If we use the Power Pivot tools to create a data table, then a data model, we can link all the tables together into one, and then we will apply the pivot analysis with the Power Pivot features in Microsoft Excel. So that's why, okay, the first thing we would like to use is to click the Manage button, and then to enable the pivot table features. And then what next? What next is that we would like to have the Power Pivot. For those Power Pivot, okay, we will use the add to data model method to add all the table into the data view. After we add all the table into the data view, then we can drag and drop, okay, with both the foreign key and the primary key together to build a relationship between each table. Okay, this is already I have already mentioned. If you would like to have a look on the detailed information about the relationship between each table, then you may click the button, okay, Manage Relationship in the Power Pivot application. For the Power Pivot application, here it will show you the relationship, what is many to one or one to many relationship. And here we will also show the direction as well. Here is some example, okay, about the pivot table and normal pivot. Here for Power Pivot, we can handle more than one table. However, for normal pivot, okay, it can only handle one table only. And here, another very important thing I need to mention is about the filter direction. Okay, here is the arrow sign. That means that all the information are listed by the what? Are retrieved from the calendar lookup information to retrieve those information from the return, okay, table. And for this one, also the direction is point from the calendar lookup table to the transaction table. So all the information should be what? So we use the key from the calendar lookup table to retrieve from the to retrieve it. Okay, this is the direction of the retrieving operation. Okay, so for this one, because as you can see here, for this table, calendar lookup is the what? Is in the upper stream. Okay, because I will say, okay, if the direction is a point from the top one to the bottom one. Okay, in this direction. I will call this table as the upper stream, and those table being pointed by the arrow side is called a lower stream. Okay, for the lower stream table, okay, because as I know, the calendar is the upper stream. So that's why we can put all the calendars fields inside the rows and column field over here. And for those those fields belongs to the return and transaction can only be put inside the values field over here, because for the column and row and filter, they belongs to the filter. That means that they will control, okay, those lower streams table according to the linking relationship. However, if you say, if I put those lower stream, okay, fields inside the row field, column field, or filter field, then what will happen? Then it will show an error message and say, okay, because the field we select, okay, is in the row field and column field are in the lower stream, then the operation is illegal and they cannot determine, okay, what the relation is. So it will give us some error message. That is what we can see in the previous video. And now, because as I mentioned before, okay, because in the old time we call it is a calculate field, and now we have already changed the name to measure. And for those measure, okay, if we like to type formula, then we need to know what is DAX. Basically, I forget to tell you this very important thing. What we are typing over here, this kind of formula, are DAX already. That means in your resume from now onward, you can add, the programming language DAX already. Okay, because as I mentioned before, okay, the DAX formula is basically quite very similar to that of the Excel formula. The major differences is like that. In Excel formula is that for the calling the formula, we can call the range A1 to A10 or B1 to B10, something like that. However, in DAX, the calling method is like that. We need to call which table and which column. Basically, the major differences is on the notation of the calculation area or calculation address. Okay, this is the major differences. Besides these differences, okay, you may cheat. Okay, DAX expression is more or less like that of the Excel formula. Okay. Basically, this is the major thing I would like to share with you today here. Okay, up to this moment, any questions? If you have any questions, please raise up. Okay, and I will explain. Okay, your question. If no more question, I will stop here, because I find that today I have already give you so many new concepts. I think most of you need to have some time, okay, to digest what I give you. I will prepare the today's record session and chop it down, and then to share on the Workday platform, and then we'll send you back the link so that you can making use of the video recording today to do the practice again, okay, on your own machine. If you have no more problem, so I will stop here. Okay, anyway, thank you for coming and thank you for attending my pub session today. See you next time. Bye bye.